What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mel here, our classic review, and today we're doing a Halloween special review. No, not the one I'm doing. That comes later in Halloween night. I'm still doing like I said before. After I finish doing my review on Halloween Town, I'll be looking up were there other specials I forgot that I already seen, but I forgot like this. Then this popped up like, you gotta be kidding me. Like I said before, I'll be checking out their Halloween specials, on Cartoon Network, Disney Channel, Toon Disney, etc., etc. And lo and behold, I seen this a bunch of times and I forgot. Who remembers Recess? You better remember Recess if you don't like this video. If you don't, I'm gonna hunt your ass down and burn you up like a witch. Period. And the like and bell won't be watching while eating popcorn. So yeah. Recess. Damn, and this was a show I remember. It started like around 2000 or 1999, around there, because I seen the pilot when it was on Toon Disney. Now that takes me back. Shit, and you can tell if you haven't seen the pilot for Recess, the designs of the characters change. Like, example, TJ. He's missing his iconic red baseball cap. Gretchen, even though she's a redhead, here she's a brunette with she looks like a Mexican Latina. And who else? Mikey looks a bit Asian. Spinelli, I didn't see a clip of her, but I think she had like a change. But until they start changing their character designs to what we know now. And that was the pilot episode for the, when TJ gets caught and he's sent to detention and everybody trying to bring him out until he managed, but it was too late. Recess was over. And this is before they introduced Gus. So, yeah. And what's the Halloween special? Terrifying Tales of Recess. So this is like a parody of the old school anthology series back in the good old days, like Tales from the Crypt from EC Comics, Creep Show, those anthology horror series. I got, like it says, Terrifying Tales of Recess. And this was the first episode for season 6, which came out on October 31st of 2001. I remember when this came out. Holy shit. It only has 3 stories, because remember, it's a half an hour episode. What do you expect? So the stories were Children of the Corn Chip, which is a parody of Children of the Corn, which is more focused on Corn Chip Girl eating some British chips, which contain wolfbane. If you eat it, you turn into a werewolf. And lo and behold, she wolfs up. Literally. Then when bikes attack, which, holy cow, you have an army of bikes, and the ending is a bit more cliche, and the final one, Night of the Living Finster. Who remembers Miss Finster? Jesus, Miss Anti-Fun. At first when we were watching Recess, we thought she was this anti-fun hating woman, when we have an episode with her and Spinelli. Turns out she's kind of like she's actually pretty cool. And then we have that special, which is heading up the 5th grade, which is the final one that ending the Recess. And with the movie, it was on the Halloween special, which I'm gonna do a review tomorrow. Yes, that counts as an episode. It's called A Recess Halloween. That's an episode that came out in 2005. Exclusively on VHS. And I remember that well. It's actually my favorite episode. Jesus. Which, of course, Ms. Finster was just talks to Spinelli about Halloween. It's not different how old you are, which, hey, I agree with her 100. I agree with Ms. Finster 100%. You ain't too old for Halloween. The problem is, you got a bunch of idiots screwing it up. And you know what I'm talking about. The pedos, the drug dealers, etc. Screw it up, and you put in curfews. I think there's one law in Virginia or West Virginia that anybody over 18 will get arrested for trick or treating. It's like, what the fuck? That result. And there's some places people. Okay, there's some towns I want to visit in October, like in Georgia, Savannah, and Atlanta, Louisiana, and New Orleans. I like visit haunted places. Like the one thing I want to play. Okay, one of my top lists is going to visit Salem in October, just to have fun, explore, and learn. Plus, hey, I like traveling. I like learning some spooky history. That's how I am. Who doesn't love it? You want boring, sugar-coated history, or some real history that goes from the core? If you're the one who grew me, congrats. So, what is Terrifying Tales of Recess? So, this is their only Halloween special that was aired on Toon Disney. The reason I say only because if I mention a Recess Halloween, remember, that episode was released on VHS along with 2 other episodes. It was a special that concluded the Recess series, including no one was when they're in kindergarten, no one was in Christmas, but that was full of Christmas episodes during the season back then. Which includes the movie. Which I remember the movie was actually pretty cool. But yeah. Which, of course, you have your host, Butch. Your shady kid, you know. But yeah. There's a lot of things I like about October, especially I was in like 1st grade or kindergarten when this came out. And October during that time was kind of like fun. You know what I dressed up as? I don't know. I dressed up 2 things: Clifford or firefighter. Oh yes, I dressed up as Clifford. I have a photo of me in a Clifford outfit. It was a onesie. And my brother, he dressed up as a cow 3 times. I'm not joking. He dressed up as a cow until he started changing, maybe because I usually have a habit. The problem is, I like Halloween. Problem is, I have a family who's religious, which is BS. If they ever learn history, that'll be a different story. But of course, and you have to explain to my mother about my profession as a graphic designer, that I work as freelance. I work for like $30 to $40 an hour. That's freelance for you. And she says, that's crazy. Who's going to pay for that? Really? You expect me to offer $20 for a logo? That's calling me a jackass. And a slap in the face of my profession. And how much you gonna pay for a lawyer, huh? $10 for a case? Bullshit. They go for $1,000 or more. Depends on the lawyer. Me? If I work on a logo, it's like around $200 to $400. Depends on how big it is, the coloring, everything. It was with a logo, the guidelines for how to use the logo properly. I'll be charging like closely $600 to $700, and that's the actual price. Along with you have to put in the copyright of your logo, submit it to copyright as well. And same with creating websites. People say, "Oh, it's easy. I should pay you $20." Your ass, you know that. Creating a website would go from $8 to $1,000. Paying the domain, the design of the site, data, everything, the whole works. Security, everything. You can't miss anything. So yeah. People these days, especially from the back generation, don't understand what is the actual pay for a profession as a graphic designer. But back to this review because I need to get that out of my chest, and I want to do like a rant about YouTube's bot empire because there's a whole lot of things I want to release, which I don't know if any YouTuber did a rant about against the corporate giants covered, but I think I got a couple. That'll literally blow some heads. But yeah, let's continue our review, shall we? But before we begin, did you subscribe? Did you hit the bell? If so, ready to go back to recess? Well, this time it's going to be one hell of a nightmare fuel because he has some scary tales to tell. So yeah. So we got our opening, we meet Butch. It's like everybody's in the playground in their costume, we meet Butch. Asking us if you're enjoying candy, having a good time. But of course, he says something like, sorry, my computer's being an ass. I mean, literally, my computer's being an ass. They fix that? Okay. Of course. No way, I forgot. Rewind that, sorry. It's actually Principal Prickly, who just stand there doing like a PSA on, about a lecture about Halloween safety until he chokes and it turns out to be Butch in a mask. Which of course he talks about, and he breaks the fourth wall, teasing to the audience, which of course he tells them to be careful, strange stuff will happen to people who are not careful. And then he starts with his first story, which is Children of the Corn Chip, which is a parody of Stephen King's Children of the Corn. Instead of religious little kids murdering adults, it's just Corn Chip Girl who accidentally tests a untested chip, which Mr. Kelso is calling the UK because he can't sell chips that are not been tested. Which of course Corn Chip Girl just grab a chip, taste it, and say, "Oh, very tasty," and boom, she just went full. Let's just say everything goes dark, and Mysterious Paul just changes time from open to close. So the next day, everybody heard what happened. It turns out Mr. Kelso's all right. He went from what is Gretchen's devised Galileo says from what level? From spookified to scare straight. Which of course Gus recognizes this because his dad was stationed in Yorkshire when it happened. Unaware, Corn Chip Girl passes by with the chips in her book bag, which she of course managed to smuggle the chips into the lunchroom as volunteer to get out for lunch. Meanwhile, the rest are trying to figure out what's going on until let's just say bad timing since the batteries died. And Gus knew this because he's the only one who knows because he again like he says torch, compare a torch for a flashlight. Which of course teacher told him, don't worry, you don't need a torch. Of course. Oh boy. As they manage to get Galileo to follow what he's about to say, let's just say Mikey ate the chip. Jesus, would you imagine Mikey ate that chip? No, he just won't be full-grown werewolf. He'll be full-grown Chewbacca, that's what. From his size, he'll be a Wookiee. Of course, soon, Corn Chip reveals her true form, eating a chip and turns to a mini werewolf. Which, of course, you see her charging everywhere and busting through a metal door. Jesus, with Prickly just shouting, Mr. Esther, Miss Faster! Of course, everybody went outside to look for her until Gus just puts on his Sherlock Holmes getup, along with a couple kids called the Cockney kids because of the Cockney accent. And where did the fog came from? And they go on the roof of the school and soon turns to looks like Victorian era London. The chimneys. Oh my god. How does it go from a school to Victorian London on the rooftops on a foggy London night? Jesus. And this makes it look like a British horror film back in the old days. It looked like Hammer Horror. Look more like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde better than a werewolf in London. Soon they managed to, let's just say, Corn Chip Girl trying to fall off the building, but Mikey managed to save her, which of course reversed her transformation, and also managed to collect all the chips, which of course X says thank you, but also get rid of the damn chips. And Vince says, and Teacher says, Vince, throw them. And guess where they throw on the roof? But fortunately, the chips fall, and guess where they land into? The kindergarten pit. If you know the kindergartners, they're wild, and one of them ate the chip was King Sticky. And then, ooh, chips. Ooh. Oh, fuck. Which ends this story there, with of course saying, now you know why they get cranky if they never get their nap time, huh? Of course, it breaks into a commercial break. It's kind of funny you just break the fourth wall right there. Right there on the spot. The next one is when bikes attack, which I remember this episode quite well. When bikes attack. This was a weird ass episode, I tell you what. I don't know what's a parody of from. I know what's... Okay, this title is used before. It was used in an episode from Jimmy Neutron. When Pants attack. Literally, when he tried to find a way to have Pants to pick up himself, it said he turned a massive Pants army. Literally. Oh boy. Which, of course, is another peaceful... Once the story begins peaceful enough, Mikey grooms his bike, Pegasus, which, of course, shows disgust because he doesn't like to leave his bike in the outdoors on a beautiful day. Out of nowhere, a thunderstorm starts, and Mikey, showing even more discomfort, let's just say he wrote a poem about his bike in class, and he's reciting it into the class, which the rest are like, ugh. Out of nowhere, lightning strikes on his bike, knocks it down. Let's just say, out of nowhere, Principal Prickly, it knocks down Principal Prickly in the hallway while Mike's doing his poetry, which, how the hell did the bike get in here? Which, of course, when Mikey picks it up, it sprung to life, literally. Soon, it literally just sprung to life. First with Mikey's delight until he realized Pegasus just wants to murder humans down straight, and it's not just, well, let's just say power goes out, it goes ham. Let's just say we see Miss Finster with a chain in her full get-up military outfit. Which she says she got this chain during her trucking days, which we can't remember. We see Miss Finster leading a convoy of school buses for a field trip. She's the female version of General Patton right there. Of course. Okay, we haven't seen she and Prickly as spooked by a bike. Soon, Mikey manages to distract his bike, which of course was the weak spot of the bike. Its tires. So, of course, pop goes the tires. They lower the bike, put some tact, pop, pop. Here goes the tires, which, of course, Mikey just comforts his bike until the tires just magically refill itself, and let's get the fuck out of here. And soon, Miss Fenster actually activates a security system in the school, which becomes Fort Knox right there, trapping the bike inside. But fortunately, hell ain't over because all the bikes come to life, even the tricycles from the kindergarten pen. And somehow Pegasus comes out of the school out of nowhere. And then the bus shows up. Gerfa's bus shows up. And Prickly says, everybody get in the fucking bus. Which, of course, Menlo says it's impossible because it's against school policy. Like, get in the bus, Menlo. Everybody's getting in the bus. And they leave away. Which, of course, every student and faculty are rescued. And one teacher say, free chance for Bertha! Until you realize nobody's driving the bus. It's like, oh fuck. And we just leave that eerie mid. Yep. Which of course, Butch then gives the viewers a lesson about always treat your bikes and your buses with respect. And never leave them out in the rain. Oh boy. Soon we get another cut with him in the playground, walking around, until we get our final story, which, let's just say, this will have to be the funny one. This is like, did it really happen? Or didn't? This is Night of the Living Finster, which, oh boy. Of course, we cut to Gus playing with a tank he borrowed from Milton. Unfortunately, he gets confiscated by Miss Finster before he can return it. Suddenly, the diggers run out of the hole screaming while TJ and his friends look into the hole. Lawson and his group were teasing about what they found. Let's just say Lawson dares Vince to spend the night in the hole alone. Which, of course, since Vince let's just say Vince has a reputation of accepting dares, because if he doesn't, he proves he's a chicken, which, of course, doesn't look good for him. So he accepts the dare. During the night, he manages to walk down and say, oh, this is cozy, until his friend shows up, chastising him because he's supposed to be there alone, which, of course, oops. And Gus just brings back the confiscation of the tank. Say, if it's worse than a pinky swear? And somewhere, a mysterious earthquake shows up, and a strange gate appears out of the rubble. It says, what Mike can describe it as so weird, like a country graveyard, which Gretchen says this is the graveyard, the final resting place for finsters of the past. Which I'm like, say what? A graveyard for finsters. And she said the legendary graveyard for finsters. What? Hold up. There's a graveyard specifically for finsters? I'm like, huh? I'm like, the hell? Under a playground? I know there's been, okay. This should be a parody of the Poltergeist and Night of the Living Dead. You're talking about underground graveyards. And soon, out of nowhere, the gates bust open and a bunch of zombie finsters show up, each from a different era. One is a coonskin finster, looks like someone from Davy Crockett, from a frontier finster. Then we get another finster, looks like more like a pirate. What else? And then, out of nowhere, to scare the shit out of TJ, a finster bride pops out of the ground and tries to grab him by the leg. I was about to use that photo for, because for my review, but unfortunately, in that position, she looks like she's about to grab something else than TJ's leg. So, it's just this image you're seeing right now. Jesus, and they try to run, and they found an exit which leads to the cafeteria. And you have a lot of finsters, like, finster who's wearing a top hat, the frontier finster, the pirate finster, the bride finster. I think there were a cowboy finster. Oh boy. I lost count because there are different types of finsters, which, what the hell? Which, of course, the finster zombies chase the gang out of the convenient Lokiz cave, which, of course, they end up in the cafeteria through a trapdoor. Damn, diggers. You know everywhere, don't you? Which, of course, demands to hide inside the kitchen, where it had to be until Gretchen, they find what's left of Tomato Surprise, which is, if you've seen the food here in Recess, some is like a bit potent. Like, Tomato Surprise is like acid, literally. So that's what they use as ammo. They attach the Tomato Soup Surprise to the sprinkler system, turn on the valve, and the finsters start to melt. And there's one, I think the bride finster, her face goes from melts and you see the skull. Like that. Jesus. And let's just say they spend the night in the cafeteria until the morning when they open up. They see Hank clean up the mess. It follows a food fight. When they go to the trapdoor, it's filled in. They go to the digger and say, hey, you filled the hole. And the digger explained because they busted his dad's favorite shovel. which the gang concluded that, wait, did we imagine the whole thing? Or was it a part, or was it real? They may never know until back in the cafeteria, one of the zombie fencer's glasses, I think it was the Bride Fenster, which I think Spinelli kicked in the face, is under one of the serving, where it is the serving station. Like, oh no, it did happen. Which gives us the audience proof that they were attacked by zombies. Or were they? Of course, it brings back to Butch, giving a revelation that he or some other person just made up the stories or scare them. Which, oh, who do you think I am? Me? Which revealed a Finster mask, still with his trademark toothpick, then gives a warning he gave them at the beginning, wishes them a happy Halloween, which of course ends the episode with Butch walking away while still wearing the Finster mask, which that's just pretty funny. Oh boy. But yeah, folks, and I kind of like this because this episode is actually a homage to The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. And just that, including like Tales from the Crypt, Children of the Corn, and Night of the Living Dead. Oh yeah, and Bikes Attack? That was inspiration from another Stephen King film, Maximum Overdrive, which I didn't know. Oh boy. But yeah, what are my thoughts about this episode? Halloween special? It brings back good memories from childhood. You can find this on YouTube. You actually put terrifying tales from Recess, and it's right there. Right there on YouTube. Like a bunch. I think there's one YouTube channel that has almost all of the episodes from Recess. So, and I think these were recorded with VHS, which I don't know how you upload that on YouTube. That's just beyond my comprehension, but hey, I'm not a video editor. But yeah, folks, let me know what you think of Recess. Correction, Terrifying Tales of Recess. This came out in 2001 on Halloween. And hey, put this on your bucket list of Halloween specials to watch during October. Along with the popular Halloween specials like Billy Mandy's Jack Up Halloween, NNA's Boo Ha Ha, Foster's Home's Horror at Wilson Way, I think. What else? There was some for Conan Kids Next Door. There's a lot. If you go just Google it, you might know. I'm just checking the time, folks. But yeah, let me know what you think of this Halloween special. Did you enjoy it when you first saw it? Were you like me when you first saw this on Toon Disney? Oh yes, it was called Toon Disney before they changed the name a bunch of times. From Toon Disney to Jetix, XD, yappy yappy yada yada. Ugh. Can I stick to Toon Disney? That's more iconic. I think I recall there was a Halloween special for Goof Troop. I gotta check that out. I think I might do Goof Troop after a Recess Halloween because hey, since I did Cartoon Network, why not do something from Toon Disney for once? And there's another episode of Sweet Eyes Like Cody, which is called Erwinstein, which is a parody of Frankenstein, which that's another one as well. But until then, did you subscribe? Did you hit the bell? If so, do me a favor, send me them treats because hey, it's already been 11 years, so let's hit 1 million subscribers or at least 500K. And comment down below, what was your favorite Halloween special from? Maybe from Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Toon Disney back in the good old days, or the Disney Channel. Put the names of the episodes in case I do a review on those episodes. Because hey, the more help, the merrier. Until then, have a great day, everybody, or a great night. It's like 4:13 in the morning. Damn, I was just doing some work. But until then, peace out, guys. See ya. Stay safe. Stay cool. Ciao.